If you're about to wrap up a project, you'll probably end it the same way I used to, with this very simple and innocent statement. Let me know if you need anything else. That one sentence has cost me more money than anything else I've ever said to a client because they never actually do. They never let you know. They go quiet, and you can't point at a single thing that went wrong because nothing actually did. The project ended, the work didn't. So stick around and I'll show you when to open that conversation, why the timing matters more than words, and how I turn a single project into a client who sticks around not for months, but for years. My name is Rocky Rourke, and I've been a brand designer for over 20 years. I built a studio up to a team of 5 designers, lost most of it, and rebuilt it into a one-person shop. So most of what I talk about here, I learned the expensive way, and I've lost more clients to bad timing than to bad work. So let's talk about what actually happens after you deliver. The project's done, the files are handed off, everybody's happy, right? And then the brand keeps going without you. They run a campaign, the client runs a campaign, they need social assets, the sales team has a new sales deck that they want to ship, somebody builds a landing page, and a new hire opens the guidelines, doesn't get it quite, doesn't quite understand it, and they start making things that are almost right, but not really. And piece by piece, the thing you build starts to come apart. Not because anyone's careless, but because a brand's a living system and somebody has to keep it consistent. All of that work gets done every single time for the most part. Somebody does it, and it could have been you. That's what I mean when I say the project ends and the work doesn't. The work kept going. It just went to whoever was around. And usually that's, someone who's in house or someone who's available right now, who's top of mind. So here's something to try before we go any further. Think about the last 3 projects that you finished. Go look at what those brands have shipped since. Generally you're going to see, LinkedIn posts, a campaign, maybe a new landing page or web page, some sort of deck, something built on top of what you made as a branding designer, as a web designer, product designer, whatever. So you already knew what they needed. You just weren't in the room when they needed it, which brings me to the part that almost everybody gets wrong. And it's probably not what you think. It isn't what you said, it's when you said it. You see, most freelancers know they should ask about more work. They just ask at the worst possible moment. And you wait until the project's finished. Files are being delivered, invoices are being paid, everybody's saying thank you and wrapping up, and you've kind of thrown in even getting a testimonial from them. And then you come back a week later asking if there's anything else. How's everything going? Do you need more work done? And so it feels more like a pitch because it is one. The work is over. You're asking for something now, and both you and the client, they can feel it. So instead, what you do is move it earlier, a lot earlier. Ask in the middle of the project when things are going well and they're excited, about what they're seeing. That moment right after you show them something and their eyes light up and they're excited, because a happy client is already thinking ahead. They're picturing it out in the world, imagining where else it could go, whether that's a brand, whether that's a website, whatever it is. They're in the best possible headspace to think of things that they want your help with right now. So same conversation, completely different feeling, just because of when it happened. After delivery, it becomes a pitch. In the middle of the work, it's more of a plan. And there are really only 2 places that it can really go from there. Either they've got another project in mind, which is great, or they realize they're going to need help on an ongoing basis. Both are great answers. That's exactly what you want to hear. You just want to know which one you're dealing with before the project ends, not after. My dog is evidently having a dream right under my desk as I'm going through all this. So try this on whatever you're working on right now. The next time a client tells you they love something, Ask them one question, just one simple question. What else is coming up in the pipeline that is needed, that I could help you with, that I could assist you with? That's it. You're not selling anything. You're doing your job. And 9 times out of 10, they'll start listing things off, or they'll at least send you a list maybe after the call. Now, if what comes back is ongoing work, there's one thing that you have to get right. And this is where I watch people give away everything they've just earned. When most freelancers hear the word retainer, they picture a monthly subscription. And if you've been following me for a while, you'll know I dislike subscriptions. Pay me every month, I'll do the design work, cancel whenever you want. I understand why it's appealing. It feels like the easiest way for a client to say yes. But look at what it actually gets you. Every 30 days, the client decides again whether to keep going. You can't plan a month ahead, let alone a quarter. And the moment the budgets tighten or a new person shows up with opinions, you're out of there. That's not recurring revenue. That's a rolling 30-day question you have to keep answering. What I do instead is offer terms: 3 months, 6 months, or 12. They get to choose. And here's what surprised me: longer terms are often easier to sell, not harder, because of what they're actually buying. A lot of clients are small enough that they don't have design support in-house. They're not really comparing me to another freelancer. They're comparing me to hiring someone internally, which means writing a job description, interviewing for a couple of months, onboarding for another 3 months, and hoping that person works out, because then they're back at square one. I'm already immersed in their brand, and for the most part, I probably built it. There's no ramp up, there's no real risk, and it costs them a fraction of a salary with benefits. That's actually the pitch, and it has almost nothing to do with design whatsoever. The way I frame the first one that we kind of like tackle together, the first test run, is I offer them a 3 month low commitment. We find out whether this works. If it's great, we keep going. If it isn't, clean exit, no hard feelings. They can always come back to me for future work. And nobody says no to a test run. People say no to forever or major commitments. And in the last 5 years, I've had 3 clients move from a test run of 3 months to a 12-month option multiple times. It's crazy to see how often it works out. So not because I talked them into it, but because once a company knows they've got a year's worth of work coming down the pipeline, locking in that person who already knows their brand is the easiest decision. So try this. Write your 3 terms out before you need them. What's in the 3 month version? What's in the 6, the 12? What does each one cost? Do it now while nothing's on the line, because the version you invent live on a call is always worse than the one that's thought about on a quiet afternoon. So 3 things that you can do with all this information as my computer dings. First, and this one takes about 5 minutes, open your proposal template if you have one, and add a section at the bottom, what basically saying like what we could do after this project. I like to have 2 options underneath it: more projects, one at a time, even offering a couple of examples based on, what we talked about in the discovery call, or ongoing support. You're not selling anything there. You're just putting the idea in the room before you need it. So it's already normal by the time it comes up. Second, on whatever you're working on right this minute. The next time a client tells you they love something, ask what else is coming up. That's the whole move there. It works because you're asking while they're excited and happy, not while they're closing out an invoice. And then third, and almost nobody does this one, go back through your last year of finished projects and count how many turned into anything else. Excuse me there. I don't know what happened. Not to feel bad about, what's happened in the last year, but just to see what that number looks like. Because that number is what this cost you. Every one of those was a client who already trusted you, already knew how you work, and would have said yes to something else. They just never got asked. So I'm curious where you land on this. Drop a comment and tell me about a project that turned into something bigger. What made it happen? I try to read every single comment that comes through, and I will definitely try and respond to each and every one of you. And if you're a freelancer and want more of this type of content, please hit that subscribe button. That's what my channel is all about helping all of you. So thank you. And always remember to stay passionate, stay positive, stay creative. That's it for today. Bye.